I want you to listen to this part. A C is correct. A C is correct. How your paper goes in is underneath like a C, not over. A C is correct. So if the paper's feeding from underneath, I'm just putting a new paper roll in. I'm making sure that it just falls down into the spot. I'm making sure it holds out far enough. And I'm going to shut it. And that typically will take care of it. Everybody green? Great. You're doing awesome. Thank you very much for staying with me. I got to get my... The next thing we're going to do is we are going to take the stand arm. It looks like this. You're going to open it up. You have got an iPad. You have got numbers on it here for Dakota County. You're going to take the green iPad. You're going to press in on the two green buttons. You're going to hold the circle in the area, let your green buttons go, and it's going to click. We want the, what do they call these again? Like the serial numbers up on the top, okay? Then, here's your stand. You're going to take your iPads, everybody hooked up? There are two finger places. You're going to put it in the stand, and I'm just using my fingers in the center of the U, and you press it down. It doesn't necessarily click, it just fits in there snugly. All right? Next, you are going to take the ID tray. You'll notice the ID tray has got, this thing on it. And if you look on the back of your iPad, it's got the counterpart. You're going to slide the ID tray in that slot. Slide the ID in that slot. And then you should have a stylus. There's a spot for your stylus. Does everybody have their up to their stylus? Are they getting close? So your tray is not going to fit in if your identification numbers aren't on the top. That's why we put that at the top. Then your tray will fit in. People standing behind, your help in assisting the people up front is very much appreciated. It's a good opportunity for you to learn as well. Okay, now you've got a power cord. When the power cord is stored, you're going to flip open this, and you're going to plug this end in here. And then you're going to attach it to your iPad. I want to project for everybody up here, so I'm going to use a different thing to plug in. But you guys go ahead and can plug your cords into your iPad. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? How's everybody doing? All right, way to go, everybody. So, and then you're going to power it on. Has everybody got it powered in? Okay. Then you're going to press the power button on the top. It's going to be right above your stylus. You'll hold that in, and you'll get an apple. And you should have something that looks like that. Is that correct? Okay. I have a couple more tips. You are asked to use the stylus, not your fingers. We want to keep that clean, so use the stylus. You are going to be assisting voters on a first-come, first-served basis. On election day, the poll pads will be talking to each other. So someone comes and votes on your machine, someone can't come and vote on another machine. Within your own precinct, they'll be talking to each other. Just for general reference, if someone presents you an ID, you may look at it, but you cannot ask someone for an ID unless your poll pad instructs you to, or unless they're registering. So, what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and process some voters. You're going to use your stylus. You're going to hit the P on the bottom of the poll pad. That is going to open up. Now, we are in a training environment, but it will work very similarly to what you are going to experience on election day. At the very top, you'll notice it says training mode. You're going to look. This says Dakota County Mall of America. Yours is going to say your precinct number. Only precinct 1 poll pads work in precinct 1, only 2 because specific information is downloaded onto each of the polling places. All of you will notice that your check-in count is 0 in the middle, up on top. All right? So we are going to get started. So go ahead and hit get started. Yeah, just for my training environment. Yes. Yep. That's what that number will represent. Thank you for asking. So, how you ask for when voters approach you, you're going to get in a habit of doing this throughout today's exercise. You're going to ask the first 3 letters of their last name, and then the first 3 letters of their first name. So, a voter comes up to you. You're not going to say, what's your name? What are the first 3 letters of your last name? And he's going to say W-A-S. You're going to put your stylus in the first box where the last name is, and you're going to put in W-A-S. What are the first 3 letters of your first name? You put the stylus in the first name box. He's going to say G-E-O. And then you're going to hit search. Yay, good question. So now you. Oh, excuse me. I jumped the gun. I apologize. Thank you, Stephanie. So first thing in the morning after you get set up, in your instructions, hopefully will say this. Haven't got them from the county yet, but I think they'll say this. You're going to do a test print. In the very top right corner, you'll see a green box. That's supposed to represent a printer. Thank you very much. You're going to just click that printer, touch that printer button, and it will say print test receipt. And that's the proof. Once you're set up in the morning, your printer's working, these two things are talking to each other. We all should have done that, and I apologize. And then it says, do you want to reprint it or not? We don't want to. So if you just touch anywhere outside of that box, you're good. Everybody printing? Great. So we had entered WASGEO, search, the full name came up. At this point, and I'll hit you in just a minute, we say, and your full name is? And he says George Washington. I see a George Washington. I'm going to click that. Go ahead and ask your question. Yes, yes, you would tear that sheet off, and we'll get rid of that. Then, okay, he told me his name was George Washington, but you are to confirm all of his information to make sure it's the right voter. So you're going to say, and you live at, and this is a good way to ask questions, and you live at, and he'll say 2659 West Gulf Drive, matches. And your date of birth is 12/31, it matched. If it's 100% match, and obviously we're starting with the easy ones first, you're going to accept. In the top right corner, there's a blue button. I'm using my stylus to touch that. You'll notice instructions to the judge says confirm the voter's information. Instructions to the judges appear in red up near the top. Confirm the voter's information. Yep. That's what he told me. That's correct. I'm now going to hit submit, and it will print this voter's. This is the oath for that voter. This is, yep. So, okay, I have more information. I want you to listen up. This is like the roster. This does not go to the voter. So, they do kind of curl. You might need to fold it a little bit. We are advising, we are recommending, we are strongly encouraging you when you place it in front of the voter. So the voter never sees the roster anymore. They're just going to see their information. You place your finger on this certificate, put it in front of them. You are going to notify the voter of the oath that is on the certificate, and you're going to ask them to sign the certificate to affirm the oath. This oath is very small. If they can't read that, you can give them this to read. But this is what they must sign. This oath is very small. You're going to have these if this is easier for them to read. This is what they must sign. Once they sign it, you're going to take this sheet. Each poll pad will have its own set of trays. I just have one on the table for space today. But each poll pad will have its own set of trays. One marked registered, one marked non-registered. This voter was registered. The registered is red, red for registered, goes in that tray. You might want to place them upside down. You want to keep each set of certificates. You don't put your certificates and mix them up. All trays are not equal because periodically we're going to confirm what it says on your poll pad to how many certificates in your batch. So you can't assume you can place your certificate in any other judge's tray, all right? So that is your set of trays are unique to you. The other's non-registered. Yep, that's a different, and we'll be doing some of that. What's your question? Every iPad has its own set of trays. And yes, you can have as many of these as you want. There's plenty of those. If we want more, that's absolutely fine. We'll send you for sure at least one for every iPad you've got deployed. What else?
Signatures. A lot of people try to initial, not sign. Can you talk a little bit about what an acceptable signature?
Okay, a voter's signature is their signature. The law states if they're able to sign, they are to sign. However, if a voter cannot sign, they are permitted by law to make their mark. Their mark can be an X. If they make their mark, which is an X, as a judge, you are to sign their name behind their mark, and then you will put in parentheses your name indicating you signed for them. It is appropriate to ask them, it is for their signature, they're to sign their name, and then once they've signed their name, it is so important that you keep those certificates. Then what you are going to do as a judge is you are going to, there's a pen in front of you, I want each of you to do it at least once or twice today. You're going to initial a receipt. You're going to tear off only the one receipt. You give the receipt to the voter who takes this ticket to go get a ballot. And I want that in the left upper corner. If they don't sign or aren't willing to make their mark, they cannot vote. It's the law. Just like if we had a whole paper roster, they couldn't get a ballot if they're not willing to sign because they have to affirm their oath. They could ask someone else to sign for them in their presence. They're permitted to do that. They could ask you to sign for them in their presence, and then you would do that. If they're unable to, they have broke both hands. I can't sign. Will you sign my name? If they're asking you to sign, but if you signed in their presence, I'd also record that was asked to sign that. But, that would be something to be recorded. Okay. I know there's a lot of questions. As much as possible, I'm going to ask you to keep the questions now for the rest of the time, unless it's something that's just burning that has to be addressed, because we have several different examples. I want to get through them because it will be important and valuable to you. All right. We're going to go ahead and do the next one. And that's, I showed you about putting your initials. Remember, if you're 5A, you're also going to have to put the school district, not at the primary, but at the general. The next name, what are the first three letters of your name? JAC. Go ahead and enter it. Or last name, if I said that wrong. What are the first three letters of your first name? AND. Oh. So I entered by accident, put it all in there. There's a little box that allows me to eliminate or to erase it. What did I do? And we're going to hit search. Now we are going to ask the voter, and your full name is, and he says Andrew Jackson. I'm going to hit the Andrew Jackson that's there. It brings it up in bigger format so I can see it. Now I'm going to ask, and your address is 1250 Tennis Place Court, and your date of birth is 3/15/97. That's a match. I'm going to accept that. It asks me to confirm it. It was correct. I hit submit, goes ahead and prints. You might need to fold it again to keep it flat. You're going to put it in front of the voter, keep your finger on it, ask them to read the oath, sign the oath to affirm the oath. Once they sign it, he is registered. You're going to put the registered certificate in the red bin, and you are going to give them an initialed voter receipt, which they then take away. Okay. Next one. What is the first three letters of your last name? L-I-N. What are the first three letters of your first name? S-C-O. I'm going to hit search. Oh, red box. Okay. So we don't find it. If we put the three letters in and it doesn't come up, the very next thing we do is we're going to search by date of birth. We're going to click OK, Before you search by date of birth, and it's a very good search because it's only people in your precinct with that date of birth, you'll notice there's a little X next to the LIN. I'm going to click that to delete the last name letters I entered. I'm going to click the little gray X next in the Scott box. Now it's cleared all that out. Now I'm going to select Advanced Search over on the right-hand side. And now I can pick any of these to search. The date of birth is a good secondary search. I'm going to use my stylus to click the DOB, and it's going to come up with a place for me to enter his date of birth. If I didn't find his name, I'll say, and what is your date of birth? And he says 0527, 0527, 1976. And I'm going to hit search. Oh, well, there's Scott Leindecker. We wanted to have you like accidentally put it in wrong. He said, yeah, that's my name. So maybe he said it wrong, maybe I heard it wrong, who knows? So now I say, and what is your full name? Scott Leindecker. I'm going to go ahead and select it. And where do you live? I live at 1538 Royal Ponciana Drive. And what's your date of birth? 5/27/76. We knew that because we entered it. That is correct. So if you do the 3 and 3 and cannot find it, next you do DOB, date of birth. All right? We're going to accept and submit. You might need to fold the sheet, put your finger on the certificate, ask the voter to sign it as they reaffirm their oath. Once they sign it, you're going to put it in the red registered box. You're going to initial a receipt and give that to them, and they walk away with to go get their ballot. Okay. Next voter comes up. And what are the first 3 letters of your last name? T-A-Y. What are the first 3 letters of your first name? C-A-C. Search. I find it Taylor Zachary. And I say, and your full name is Zachary Taylor. And your address is, and he says, my address is 825 Palm Street. Oh, well, that's not where he lives. So I need to make a couple points here. The advantage of asking for 3 and 3. There are many names. Someone comes up and says, I'm Zachary Taylor. Okay, so you must mean your name's Taylor Zachary. If I say Pam Gaxeter, you probably can figure it out or if I say Gaxeter Pam, you probably can figure it out it's Pam Gaxeter. But there are many people, Zachary Taylor, Taylor Zachary. We had someone who worked here, Taylor George. Was it George? So by asking 3 and 3, and the other thing, when they tell you their full name, oh, yeah, thank you. When they tell you their full name, they tell you their first name first and their last name. If you say, what are the first 3 letters of your last name, you're just getting that right away to enter. First 3, you're getting it put in right away. So it's to your advantage. What are the first 3 letters of your last name? What's the first 3 letters? Then when the choices come up and your full name is, and you can see if they're on the list there, and then you can select. Now, so right away I'm looking at this, and we realize, he says, yeah, I live at 825 Palm Road. We are going to need to update his registration. Is it?
I think that posted.
Oh, fell out?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, I bet it looks like somebody moved it.
I know. I was trying to fix the screen.
Okay. You need to pull that side forward? That's not true. Is that okay, guys? Oh, that's better. That's good, Steph. So we are going to, on the very bottom, we're going to update his registration. And we said, what's your date of birth? And he says, my date of birth is 11/24/94. Oh, well, that's not what we have. So there's a couple things going on here. He was registered. His date of birth is wrong. What the address that he came up under, he says, that was my old address. So we know, and it's really, is it humid in here? Does he need to, is it not him, it is just me? Is everybody comfortable? Whew. That's good, I'm heavy, I need to burn some calories. Oh, you're cold, okay. No, if people are comfortable, it's just me. So, there's a couple things we're gonna do here. We're going to, he's registered in the precinct virtually anytime you're making a change to his address, it's another registration, but he can use his current registration to re-register. But we want to make a change. We know his birth date is wrong. I'm going to select on his date of birth, and we're going to put the year in, which he says my birthday has always been 1994. They had it won't let you, yes, so put 1994 in, and then put November 25th, 1994, that's correct. I'm going to hit next. So put, you have to do,
20 years of doing this, every time we had the wrong birthday,
Yep.
but, you know.
There you
we
go.
watch it anyway.
Yep, you got to put your year first, then put the rest of the data.
Years. Fantastic. Good for you. You've seen
Yes.
messages, haven't you?
Yeah. I started with Mary.
You will have a precinct finder, but this you can use as a precinct finder, and I'll show you how to use that later. So, now, his address is wrong. So what we're going to do is we're going to wipe his whole address off. We're going to hit the box that says clear fields on the bottom left. Oh, you're not there yet? Okay. Oh, okay. Then hit next. Hit next. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you stopped me. Okay. Is everybody at there? Okay, and now hit clear fields because we're going to enter a new date of birth. Or a new address, excuse me.
When you had the paper, did you just cross out the old
His current
address?
registration
And
in the
somebody
precinct
later
is
added
one of the ways to prove your eligibility. So, you're going to use your stylus, you're going to tap just above the house number.
Right precinct, because if they move to a different precinct.
And you're going to put in the new address is 825, only the number you're going to place here. Now, you'll notice when I tapped above house number, what came up was a keyboard. There's no numbers there. The way that I changed my keyboard to show numbers, on the bottom left, it shows 1, 2, 3. If I hit that button, now I have numbers to pick from. So I'm going to hit 8, 2, 5. Then I'm going to touch my stylus above street name, and I'm only entering 3 letters of the street name, just like we would a name. And he said he lives at Palm Street. So if I put in P-A-L, every street in your precinct will come up with that, and then you select it. I selected Palm. Everything else is populated for you. You ask the question, can mail be delivered? It's always says yes unless they say no. And if that's good, we hit next. Then we have to, please select your identification type from the list. We're going to hit the caret. Is everyone with me? His identification method is a photo ID and document with current name and address. So his voter ID is a photo ID and document, and he has a social security number. And his social security number is 1234. That's the last 4. I'm clicking the bottom left box to get numbers up. I'm clicking 1, 2, 3, 4. I click next. Now it says, please choose your proof of residency from the list. I'm going to click the caret, And it says he's using a photo ID document with current name and address. So that's the middle one. Is everyone with me there? Okay. Steph, can you catch them up?
Okay, I was here then,
Yep.
and I said next,
Yep.
So you're gonna go back,
I went back,
and we're just gonna clear this, and we're gonna have you do it again.
okay.
So there's a prompt, I mean, I'm not able to see it clearly. It says, please choose and verify. Okay, so it prompts.
Okay, so now you
This is
have
you're
an
in the right
option to
place.
search.
She was.
Yep, that's, and you need the middle one.
She's just referring to the drop down.
They must have a space.
It
They must have a space in there before they did something.
I don't see the carrot, that's.
And I'm an iPad
The second
user.
one, because
I've never
he's
been-
providing a social security number and a,
Okay.
okay?
Truly, the individual does.
So you're doing the middle one.
That we're the one.
I mean, it's whatever he says in our example, we're just using
Is this
this.
your first time doing it? Oh, they'll probably let you do something a little nicer first. And then they'll move
Thank
you into
you.
that. Although, primaries
Is everybody where I'm at?
are really slow. That you have
Okay,
really good chance to,
Try
to,
different
yeah.
things.
okay, where are you?
And I'm in the afternoon, so,
6, 7, 8, 9.
I mean, most people.
You'll
Okay,
have a lot of
next.
fun. Where are you gonna be?
River Valley.
No, it says
Oh,
second floor,
okay.
right?
That's where I live, right across there. But I
Last
come here, I work in this place.
Okay.
I don't know if that will make the difference, but.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
I used to be in
Oh, I
my.
tried that.
Yeah, that's what it was. You have to,
We moved to Germany for
and,
3 years.
and then you want to do
And
the
when I
middle?
came back,
That's, yep.
I moved over by Pilot Knob.
Wait a
So you
second.
hit the carrot.
Tell me what
That was
happened.
all filled.
You put, it
And
said
she's
his
never
last
done
four
it.
for his social security is 1, 2, 3,
I like
4,
it
and you
here.
put in a different
Really
number. You put in
is-
6, 7, 8, 9.
That's because the
We can walk right over there with
social
the
Yeah,
security
just-
number is
yep.
through the last.
So if there ever were.
No,
an issue,
that,
or
that-
ever happened,
well, the social security number's on top, his ID for his passport
the
is the
police
number
right
you
handy.
were looking at.
And everybody knows me.
Okay,
The biggest.
are you
problem-
are you good now?
I don't know if she'll
Okay.
get her address,
Is everybody
people
okay?
Showing up and they're at the wrong precinct.
You guys are doing great.
Year, it's so,
Okay,
Is it because there's
okay.
restricted,
um,
or is it
that
just
and
because-
sometimes like the school board elections are all different. And they go, well, the
And then we
ones
did other.
voted.
No, you don't want other.
It's just very frustrating.
Oh, that would be very hard.
And
Yeah.
sometimes
feel
you get
badly
people,
because
especially
people-
if they come at a quarter to 8.
Yep.
And you're directing them to go back over to Pilot.
We did that.
Yeah, I don't know, it's not, let me see. You gotta,
And, it's fairly easy.
yeah, something's not right with that number. Let
State
me
of
just try it
Minnesota,
again.
whatever, auditors.
Yep,
I've
yep,
never
there.
done
You
it.
must have had an extra space in there. Here, you want the middle one.
Exactly where your precinct is.
It was a ID with a document.
But instead, we use the
Okay.
Washington map.
Everybody needs to be at an ID with a document.
The maps, they have the
Yep.
maps out on the wall.
Yep, in the middle.
And we try and find their address, and we try and tell them
Uh,
how to drive there.
Or, I gotta see where I'm at. Oh, yeah, okay. And we entered the number 1, 2, 3, 4 next.
It is. I mean, I'm impressed.
And then you're gonna do a photo ID with a document. That's where you wanna be, right there.
And she's
Photo ID with a document, photo ID with a document.
Green paper.
Okay,
easy.
is everyone got it? So it looks like this. If everyone stays with me, it will be easier than if you move ahead, okay? Because I will explain to you where to go.
I'll tell you where to go.
Okay, now is everyone here? Okay, good. So, now if he's using that middle one that I talked about, remember, not just a good ID, he's using a photo ID and a document. So that's what we selected at the top. And we know that he's going to use a U.S. passport for his ID, and the document type is a written statement. So on the second line, there's a caret at the right end. You're going to click that right caret.
Oh, Here it's way over on the right.
Okay,
It looks like
that's
an
just the
upside down.
arrow.
And it is going to come up with your choices for your photo ID. He said he's going to use a U.S. passport. You are going to select U.S. passport.
You have to key in the number.
Then you're going to put your stylus above the ID number, and you have to enter the ID number.
How many digits?
And it says the ID number, but it's a test, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it would be.
Gorgeous.
Now, I'm at keyboard. I need to change my keyboard to numbers. I'm hitting the bottom left to change it to numbers, and now I'm going to enter his passport number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because that's what they said it is.
Any beer?
Now,
I never drink beer.
there is another question underneath that, but I can't see it. In order to have my keyboard go away so that I can see the next question, on the bottom right is what looks like a keyboard. I'm going to click the keyboard to have the keyboard get away. And there's one more caret there for document type. I'm going to click. And what kind of document did he provide us? A rent statement. So I look at the list. Oh, there's no rent statement. Where is it? All of your options are there. You're going to use your stylus to scroll the list up. They're listed alphabetical by your choices. All right? I'm clicking rent statement. Everyone there? Great. Now we hit next.
I'm having a problem when I get type of vibe here. Yeah. Okay, you do it in, okay, I don't want.
Okay? If everyone's here, this is where we would enter previous information. To save time, we're not going to enter anything here. We could enter his old address, but we're not going to. We're just going to move forward so we can try a different example. We're going to go ahead and hit next. Now it comes up in red. Remember what I said. Election judge comments appear in red at the top. Election judges to confirm the registration information. If correct, the election judges to initial and tap next. It tells you exactly what to do. If changes are needed, tap previous step.
That's hard.
We look at everything. It's what we thought we were registering him. We are going to put our initials on here.
We have a very
So go ahead and mark your initials on the line and hit next. And then it says voter added. I'm going to click OK. And it's going to print.
registration.
Now, this is a long certificate. This is a receipt. This is a certificate. I want everybody to listen. When you register somebody, they must sign the document twice. A registered voter signs once. They get the short form. The non-registered signs once. They look and say, yep, all that information's correct. I'm signing it. Then, just like the regular voter, they're going to affirm the oath that they're entitled to vote in this election. They live here. They understand that they don't have a felony, la, la, la. They're going to sign here. You are going to fold this in half. Do not fold it this way. Fold it this way, because we're going to have to alphabetize these later. So fold it with the information out. This one was a non-registered. Where do non-registereds go? Blue bin. That's correct. And then what are you going to do? Initial voter's receipt. I did forget to say something that I had wanted to say. Whenever you have somebody that's not a simple registration, I want you to call your head judge, or your head judge might say, this is my expert registration person. When you need to register someone, let them know. Anytime you register someone, I want two people looking, especially at the beginning. But if you're an experienced judge, you know we used to have registration tables with people who really knew how to register, and then we had the easy lookups. So I want these people as backup over here to help make sure everything's going correctly. So you're not going to be alone when you register someone. You're going to raise your hand for your head judge, or maybe your head judge will have somebody kind of sit behind and help two voters at the same time to make sure all the aspects are right, that you know how to use the machine, and you guys are going to do great. The other thing that I've heard with this equipment is people move so quick through this part compared to looking up people's names and finding it and rotating it and back. The bottleneck gets to be here. So, but you guys are doing good. We're going to do at least one more before we rotate. I'm going to flip this over. I want to make one more point on this. Because Zachary Taylor had a correction. He had a registration, which would not require us to fill out this form, but he also had a correction. This form is only used to make typographical corrections. His voter ID was right, his name was right, his date of birth, it says, as it appeared on the roster, was 2004. What's the correction? His correct date of birth was 11/24/94. His birthday was never 2004. It's not like, yeah, I moved from 124 Walnut Street to 396 Walnut Street. It was a typographical error. Whoever entered him in did it wrong. You'll have to fill that form out, okay? That ties everything together with, that form is filled out by pencil. Yep.
Okay, that's a separate sheet then.
That's a separate sheet, yes. Yes. Okay, one more question, and then we're going to go really quick. Yep.
You're going to combine the functions of roster judges and registration judges
Together.
Said that about 6 times.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Actually, we're only going to have 4 because these go so much faster. So,
Does she know that? I
next,
only hope they're gonna go.
we've got last name. What are the first 3 letters of your last name?
Really? Okay.
Thank you.
Good. So
What are the first 3 letters of your first name?
The old one was awful.
We're going to search. Oh, no records found. If we can't find somebody by the first 3 letters of their name, what are we going to look at?
Date of birth.
DOB. But first we have to erase the data in the last name and the first name. Everybody seeing that? You're erasing the information, clicking the gray boxes. You're going to hit advanced search. You're going to touch over the DOB, and you're going to enter his date of birth, which is 4/16/1976. Oh, 4.
Yeah, wrong date.
Oh, I do. What did I have?
19.
Okay. Okay. Am I right? Oh, I'm 76. Oh, I didn't want to do that, dang it. It's good that you see me make mistakes because you'll make, what do you do, back up? Do it over, right? 4/16/1976, finally got it, search.
Yes.
Oh, it's still not there. Now what do we do? If you looked at both the 3 and 3 and the DOB and they're not there, and we're sure that he's supposed to be in this precinct, and there's a way that you'll know if he's not, but we can look him up, we're sure he is, you're going to register him. There is a menu button in the top left. Click it. Aren't you in Hamilton? Oh, and that's right. It's supposed to pull somebody else up because that's not who we're looking for. So he doesn't show on the roster. So now we have to register him. Okay. Is everyone where I'm at? At the 3 o'clock position is a yellow circle called registered voters. We're going to go there. And we're going to ask the voter, are you a U.S. citizen? He says yes. Are you 18 years old? Yes. We're going to click next up in the right. Now, a new person that needs to register has to have identification. The easiest way is what? What kind of ID?
Driver's license.
Driver's license. They're going to say, do you have a current driver's ID? And he says, well, yes, I do. Here it is. Oh, and all of you should have one of these. You could, your own driver ID would work. This is a test environment. So in the top left corner is a scan DL, but you're not going to put that in. You're going to first put his driver's license in the tray.
Oh, gosh, you can scan stuff. You don't even have to.
And then you're going to hit the scan DL barcode.
That tray was.
Look at that.
It captures the data.
Wow.
It's like, that's his name, that's his DLB. Good. We're going to click next.
Oh my gosh.
And then what?
Pretty sweet, huh?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Does it populate? the
It
phone?
scanned it for you, and it populates the information for you.
But didn't populate the address.
Scan DL barcode, and it's up on the top. Okay, now we're going to enter his address. It does make you enter his address. I'm going to click above house number.
Yeah.
I'm going to change the keyboard using the bottom left to the numbers. I'm going to add his number, which is 2999. I'm going to click above street name. I know he lives at Twin Ponds. I'm only entering 3 letters. I'm going to wait for it to populate. It comes up with Twin Ponds. All of his data is there. All right?
You or your
And then you're going to hit next.
chance? Did you work on it?
No, he worked for the Army Corps of Engineers on base.
What?
So I lived
Yeah,
in-
it has,
I
yes,
lived in-
yep, only for a current
Why
one.
they called it, but out.
Then,
No, but it was.
what type of ID did this voter give us? The top one, he gave us a current driver's license. We're going to select the top option.
And they had a
It automatically puts his driver's license number in there. You don't even have to put it in there.
for me. I loved having her there.
Great experience.
Okay?
More fun than my husband.
Oh, yeah.
All right? Then you hit next.
Anytime she had a minute.
Is everybody up to date? Great. Then we're going to hit the caret because it says choose the proof of residency from the list. It makes you put it in again. He had an ID with a current name and address. Click it. And the type of ID was what? A Minnesota driver's license. The ID number's there. You click next. You could put information in if he gave it to you where he used to live. We're going to not do that to save time. We're going to click next. The election judge is going to confirm it's right. If it is right, you're going to put your initials on and you're going to hit next and you're going to add that voter. That is correct.
She got in charge of groundwater and it camped Harvey in the middle of
Don't forget, you have a
the month.
registration, which means the voter must sign the top, which is like the old voter registration application, and the bottom, which is their oath. You're going to fold it so the information is visible
Yeah, she's
after they've signed it.
a camper.
Remember, you can keep your finger on it for them to sign. It goes in what color bin? Blue. And then what are you going to give them? That's right. You got it. All right. Okay, so we are going to do one more, then we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to swap people out so someone else can get a chance at it. The next one is, what are the first 3 letters of your last name? ADA. What are the first 3 letters of your first name? AOH. Do a search. Oh, what just came up? AB, if you're new, means absentee ballot. You'll notice it's in pink.
I see it.
But this is what we're going to do. I'm going to say, and your full name is? He says John Adams. I'm going to select it so I can see it bigger. Of course, here it comes up with a great big red bar. But there could be a senior or junior. It might not be his absentee ballot. Maybe it's junior who's in front of me and he hasn't even registered. So I'm going to ask the questions. And where do you live? I live at 970 Palm Street. And what is your birth date? My birth date is 10/30/1905. Oh, okay. Now I've confirmed that this voter is this person. It gives you information right on here. It says, our records show you've already voted absentee. If you need more information, you can call the city elections offices at such and such, but he would not be entitled to vote. You'll notice there is no option for you to even print his name to submit. All it allows you to do is close or go back, and that would be recorded in the incident log. So what we are going to do now is we will take we only have 45 minutes left, and we've got some really important things yet to cover. I'm asking you to please be really prompt. In 5 minutes, be back. If you are a PM person who will be at your precinct or an all-day person, and you'd like a chance at a poll pad, please take a seat there, because you're going to be packing the poll pads up at the end of the day. Would like to give other people a chance to get their hands on it. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.